Command transmission priority 1. The message came in just before dawn. A routine G.I. Joe patrol was moving through a small neighboring town outside Springfield when they were hit. Small arms fire, close range, coordinated. No follow-up transmission, no confirmed survivors. Just a burned out Humvee. Last known position marked in red. Intel points to Dreadnok involvement. Local muscle, chaotic tactics, and just enough firepower to make things ugly. Command isn't sending a platoon. They're sending us. Beachhead is on point. Mission commander, tactical overwatch, zero tolerance for surprises. Snake Eyes moves silent on the flank. If the Dreadnoks are still in the area, they won't hear him coming. Roadblock brings the heavy firepower because sometimes extraction means clearing a path the hard way. And Lady Jaye, intel, precision, and eyes on everything that moves. Her orders are simple. Reach the Humvee, check for survivors, extract anyone still breathing. But this is Cobra country. And when the Dreadnoks set an ambush, it's never just hit and run. This is mission 1, search and extract. Enemy contact lightly, no backup. Welcome back to Northsun Tabletop Games. Yo, Joe. Today we're going to be looking at Battlespace, tabletop solo game of ultra-modern military combat. We're flavoring it up using some G.I. Joe standees from the G.I. Joe RPG standee pack. And we're going to jump right into mission 1, see if we can figure out what's happening with the Humvee. And we'll talk about the rules and stuff as we get into it. It's not super complicated. A D20 system, cards for movement. All right. So as we talked about in the beginning of the video, we've got our Joes. So you can create your own soldiers in this game. We've got Beachhead. He's got 4 hit points, 8 initiative, +2 accuracy, and +1 hand-to-hand combat. If he's the first Joe to attempt an initiative roll, he gets +1 order. We've got Snake Eyes, 4 hit points. They all have 4 hit points. 8 initiative, +1 accuracy, +2 hand-to-hand. He automatically wins any hand-to-hand combat versus a threat level less than or equal to 10. Roadblock, 8 initiative, +1 accuracy, +1 hand-to-hand. If he gets hit, he can make a free shooting action if he's not down or KIA'd. And then we've got Lady Jaye, 4 hit points, 10 initiative, +2 accuracy, +2 hand-to-hand. She can make a free shooting attack if her initiative roll is 15 or higher. And we'll talk about that. We gave these guys, every one of your soldiers gives you 3 points that you could use to buy gear. So we have a pool of 12, but to make it simple, I did 3 for everybody. So Lady Jaye, I gave her medic. She can perform first aid, removing 1 wound for an order. So she has that. Team leader, we gave to Beachhead, and these little grenades represent how many points it's worth. So Beachhead is our team leader. Once per player phase, a team leader or another soldier from his team that is in line of sight may re-roll a failed initiative roll. So once per phase, he can let somebody do that. We gave Snake Eyes K-bar combat, +1 to hand-to-hand combat. He probably won't need it. And he also has M67 frag grenade. We can throw that if we need to. And then Roadblock, he's got the M249 LMG. This soldier is the fire team's automatic gunner. M249 is his primary weapon. He can immediately perform a second shooting attack against a target that is within the AoE of his first target, or he can perform suppression for 1 order. The weapon deals 2 wounds, but he has -2 to his accuracy. So Roadblock's accuracy is going to be a -1, unless he gets some kind of bonus. All right, I think that is pretty much it to get started. We're going to be going up against Dreadnoks. We're going to be using the Crime Syndicate Soldado Stragglers as the enemy type. So Dreadnoks are going to have a threat level of 7, 1 life, hatchets and pistols. When a Dreadnok is in hand-to-hand combat, his threat level goes up by 2. That'll give them 9, but it still won't be enough to stop Snake Eyes from getting an automatic kill. All right, that's it. So we'll go ahead and get started here with the player phase. And basically what you do is you're going to be rolling initiative. We're going to shuffle these up real quick. These are the sit rep cards. This is what makes bad things happen while you're playing. Activates the soldiers. And there's one more setup thing. One more setup thing, and then we'll jump right into it. So we're doing mission 1. We reflavored it a little bit. I've got the Humvee is going to be down there. So this is the Humvee. So we have to get to the Humvee, and then we'll have to extract off the table back up here in the corner. And there's a mission map, and I'll show you guys what the mission 1 map looks like here. Let me find that. So mission 1, we basically flavored up this map a little bit with the buildings are mostly on the left, a couple buildings down here in the right hand corner. And it's got this red enemy dot. So for the mission, that's the spawn point. So we're going to roll a d20 to start with and see what's in there, because our Joes are just coming in. They're just coming in the bottom left hand part of the screen, moving into the area, and they don't know what it's going to be. So there's a table in the front of the book that has what you start with when you roll the mission, the random event. So you would have one of these values for the random event. And let's see what we get. 5. 5 is 1 straggler and roll again for this action. All right, so we're going to have at least 1 straggler. And then we're going to have to roll again to see what else is out there. A 1 straggler. So we're going to have 2 stragglers. So we will go ahead and get that set up. All right, so we've got 2 Dreadnoks hanging out up here in the corner. They probably blew up our Humvee, and we'll have to try to take these guys out. And we are going to have Beachhead, our team leader, along with Roadblock and Lady Jaye and Snake Eyes are gonna try to get this mission resolved. All right, let's get to it. All right, so we're gonna start with the player phase. And what you do in the game is you basically roll a d20 for everything. It's always for the perspective of the soldiers, or the Joes in this case. And you have to beat their initiative number to activate. If you don't beat their initiative number, then you only get to do 1 order, and you have to draw a sit rep card. And sit reps are those cards I was shuffling. These are bad things that are going to happen. Yep. So if you fail your initiative roll, you only get 1 order instead of 2. And you can only do 1 named action per turn. So you can move once, you can shoot once, you can throw an item, throw a grenade or weapon once. To climb up a building, it costs 2 orders. There is altitude bonuses, but I don't know if we're going to do that. There's cover. But let's go ahead and get started. All the Joes have 4 life. And I think we're going to start with Beachhead. He's going to try to lead the way. All right, so we're going to start with Beachhead. And normally in this game, you can pick different factions like SAS, Navy SEAL, Spetsnaz. When you're creating your soldiers, you can choose one. So I think I chose the faction bonus. Joes in line of sight get +1 to initiative. And Beachhead has a special ability. If he's the first Joe to attempt his initiative roll, he gets an extra order. So we are going to have Beachhead, our fearless leader, go in. And there's no range in this table. Your guns can shoot as far as you can see, you're going to be in hand-to-hand combat, then you'll just use your hand-to-hand skill. So since he's the first one to activate, let's go ahead and roll his initiative, and we'll see if he can win his initiative roll. All right, so Beachhead's initiative is an 8. He gets a +1 for being in line of sight, so he needs a 7 or higher. Ooh, he got a 9. So he passed his initiative test. So that means he's going to get 3 orders. Normally when you pass, you get 2, but he has a bonus. So I think we're going to have him advance. And then advance is 2 moves. You use this card for distance. So to do an advance, he could move twice. And I think we're going to have him go 1 up here. And then he can move again. We'll have him go 2 up here. And then for his last action, he's going to go ahead and shoot. So he's going to take a shot at that Dreadnok that's on the right. It's going to have, there's 2 types of cover. There's going to be obscured, which is part of the model is not visible. So if he's looking, he has to shoot past these cars. That's going to give him a -1. If a model is in base contact with terrain and part of it is not visible, it's -2. So the Dreadnok that is on the right is going to get a -1 advantage. So usually we would need to roll a 7 to hit based on the threat level of this card, but we'll need to roll an 8. So he's going to take the MP5, level his shot at the Dreadnok. He got a 9. He needed an 8. That's a hit. It does 1 damage. He takes this guy out. 1 down. And that is going to be Beachhead's turn. All right, so we're back to our other characters. Now, they do have rules for cohesion. Whenever something is in an area of effect, it's the width of this card. So when all your units are in cohesion, you get a +1 to your initiative roll. So for that first one, Beachhead should have got a +1. But I think next we're going to activate... I think we're going to activate Snake Eyes next. Let's see if he can get his initiative. So Snake Eyes has got initiative of 8. Nothing special. Let's roll it up. We're still in the player phase. Needs to beat an 8. He got a 9. Fantastic. So Snake Eyes, he only gets 2 orders. So he's going to move over here. Going to stay in base-to-base contact with the car. And he is also going to take a shot at that Dreadnok. So that Dreadnok is in partial cover and he's next to a terrain feature. So it's going to be a -2. So instead of a 7, Snake Eyes has to get a 9 to get the long shot. That is a 20. A crit from Snake Eyes, headshot that does 2 damage instead of the normal 1, and he takes this guy out. All right. So they are clearing the way, these Dreadnoks. All right, next up, let's activate Roadblock. So the coast is clear. We can maybe try to sprint across this open street area and see if we can get straight to the Humvee. He needs an 8. Oh no, that is a 5. That means he failed his initiative roll. Can Beachhead let him re-roll that, or is it only an attack? Beachhead has team leader. The team leader, another leader from the team. Re-roll a failed initiative roll. Okay, so once per player phase, he can still see Roadblock. Beachhead is going to let him re-roll that with his special ability. 19, fantastic. Roadblock passes. He's going to move. So he gets 2 orders for passing. And he's going to do an advance, which is 2 moves. So he's going to go blam, 1, And then he's gonna advance again and then get right over here by these barrels so that he can start heading over there, way over there to where the Humvee is. All right. And then we'll be back here. Now it's going to be Lady Jaye's turn. I think she also needs an 8. Beachhead has used his ability this round, so he's not going to be able to help her out if she fails the initiative roll. 15, that's good. But she rolls a 15, she can get a free shooting attack. She doesn't need it though, so she's also going to advance. She'll follow Roadblock right behind these barrels. All right, so they're right up there. All right, that's going to end the player phase. Next phase is going to be coming up. All right, so after the player phase is the sit rep phase. And this is where we're going to draw a card from the deck and follow the instructions, then discard it. And any enemies that don't activate after we draw the sit rep card would now activate. So we're going to take our sit rep deck, just give it one more shuffle, and then we'll see what bad things are going to happen. First sit rep, there's no enemies on the board. Maybe everything is fine. Contact. All stragglers move and attack the closest soldier in line of sight, preferring targets that don't have cover. All right, so there are no targets out, so we can just discard this. And then we would go to the clear phase, which I didn't do. So typically you can put down like activation tokens after your characters move, and then in the cleanup phase, you would pick those up. But unless the board gets crowded, I won't worry too much about doing the activation tokens. That's what you would do in the clear phase. And then, of course, you would check for any mission failure conditions, if all the soldiers were killed, or if the mission had any specific thing, or if there was a time limit, you would do that then. But now we don't. So now we're back up to the top of the round. All right, so who do we want to go? I think let's go ahead and start with Roadblock. Because Roadblock and Lady Jaye, they're kind of out here in the open. If we could have them stay by these fences and try to sprint across the street, they can try to get closer to the Humvee. And then Beachhead and Snake Eyes can cover them. So Roadblock, he needs a 8. All right. 16, good. Let's go ahead and have him advance. He's going to move 2, 1, and 2. Right. So he's going to be by the barricade. Then we'll have Lady Jaye go. 16, she's good. She's going to advance. 1 and 2. Gets right up behind them. All right. So then we've got Snake Eyes in the rear. We'll have him go next. 7. Uh-oh. That is not enough. His initiative is 8. Beachhead's going to use his ability to give him 1 free roll in the player phase. 10, that's just enough to pass. So he is going to advance. He's going to go 1 here. And then he will hop in by the back of this car, give some cover. All right, then last up, we'll activate Beachhead. 17, that's good. I think we'll also have him advance, because to extract, we have to extract down at the other end of the table. All right, so he's going to advance 1. And then, let's see, I think we'll have him post up by this lamp. Yeah, he'll come out here, post up there. All right, so then we've got everybody activated. That's the end of the player phase. Now we're back to the sit rep phase. We'll draw our second sit rep card. It is lose my balance. Threat level of 6, roll immediately. The soldier furthest from an enemy loses his footing. If the roll is failed, the soldier falls prone. All right, that's pretty easy. It's probably going to be Snake Eyes. He has to beat in 6. He's fine. All right. Easy peasy. This so far is going about as good as it could possibly go. All right. So Roadblock and Lady Jaye. We're starting to think, hey, this is a piece of cake. We took out these 2 Dreadnoks. Looks like it's pretty light. Why did they call us in? We're going to go ahead and activate Roadblock. See if he passes his initiative roll. He does not pass. All right. Beachhead. Going to use his ability. Team leader. He passes. Beachhead can't do it again. Roadblock is going to advance. Let's see. 1. I'll get him right about here. And then advance again to get him into base-to-base contact with the Humvee. Now, it costs an order to activate it, so he can't activate it yet. But that's where he's going to end his turn. We'll come back to Lady Jaye. We'll have her activate next. Initiative is 8. That is a 5. So that means she's only going to get 1 order, and we have to draw a sit rep card. What is the sit rep going to be? Regroup. All active soldiers in the fire team may make a free move order immediately. There are 2 or more fire teams in the mission area. Choose 1 fire team to regroup. Oh, okay. Fantastic. We are good to go. So we are going to regroup. Everybody gets a free move. So she'll get 2 moves. That's pretty good. All right. So let's go ahead. Lady Jaye, she's going to get a free move. Bam. And then she's going to get another free move. We'll have her move down here. Try to get into cohesion. The coast seems clear, so we'll have Snake Eyes do a free move to get right here. And then Beachhead is going to do a free move to head down here. All right, let's have Snake Eyes activate next. 15. He's good. Going to advance twice. 1 and 2. And then we'll have Beachhead activate. That is a 20. When you roll a 20 on an activation, you can get 3 orders. So, can he get to the vehicle and activate it? All right, so Beachhead is going to advance for 2. It's going to get him 1 and then 2. He'll get into base-to-base contact. And he'll use his 3rd order to interact with the vehicle. All right, so for the mission, there is a table. When you interact, we're going to roll on that table and see what we've got. So, let's do that. 8. The soldiers are missing. Okay, so nobody's in here. Move off the mission area via the highlighted edge to exfiltrate. At least 3 of your soldiers and any survivors, if found, must make it to the exit for a successful mission. All right, so that's going to be the end of the player phase. So that means we go to the sit rep phase. And we'll draw our sit rep card. And we've got, I have movement. A straggler enters the mission area from the nearest building or terrain feature, car door, building door, bush, etc. to the soldier with the highest initiative. 2 or more soldiers have the equal initiative the player must choose. So a Dreadnok is going to come out from the nearest building for the player with the highest initiative. The highest initiative is Roadblock. Oh, Lady Jaye has the highest initiative. Car, door, building. So it seems like somebody would jump out of the car. Yeah, corridor, building, door. Yep. All right, so they're going to come out of the Humvee. So we're going to say a Dreadnok pops out of the roof of the Humvee. It's going to start shooting, but he doesn't activate. So when a sit rep card has an enemy enter the board, they don't activate. And then normally what you would do is any other enemies that are on the board would all move and shoot. But right now there's no other enemies. This is just mission 1. It's kind of like a tutorial walkthrough how to play. So it's not a lot of enemy combatants. But we do have this one Dreadnok to deal with. Our goal is to exfiltrate off the board. And so to complete our mission, we don't have to kill everybody. We just have to get off the board, which is probably, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, probably 2 turns. We can get off to the edge of the board down there. All right, so let us see. Then we would have the, I think it's called the clear phase. Yep, that's where we would pick up the activation tokens. Like I said, unless there's more enemies, I'm not going to worry too much about putting the activation token down. And then we're back to the player phase. So we'll see who we are going to activate. And I think we'll activate Roadblock and have him try to shoot this guy. Now the guy is above him. Roadblock does have his M249. So if he it does 2 damage instead of 1. These guys only have 1 life though. He's already getting ready to die. But before that, we have to see, we got to see what they roll. So initiative roll for Roadblock. He fails the initiative roll with a 7. So he's only going to get 1 order. We'd have to draw a sit rep card. We're going to have Beachhead use his ability. Try to cancel that. Okay, so he cancels it. He got to re-roll. Nobody else can do it. He's going to get 2 orders. And I think we're just going to have him aim and shoot. So aim, it costs 2 orders. And it gives you a +1 to shoot. And he already is at a -1. So aiming with the M249, that's going to let him have a flat roll. So let's see what he gets. He needs to beat a 7. Oh, he misses. He misses. All right. Who's next? Who do we want to have go next? Do we have Beachhead try to take him out or Lady Jaye? We'll have Lady Jaye activate. Initiative roll. 7. Lady Jaye has failed her activation roll. So she's only going to get 1 order. And we have to draw a sit rep card. So let us see what the sit rep is. It is Sniper. Place 1 enemy sniper on the highest elevation furthest from the soldiers. The enemy sniper will activate last during the sit rep phase. When the sniper activates, he will move toward the nearest soldier and attack a soldier in line of sight, but will remain on the elevation. All right, so we've got a sniper to deal with. Maybe we are not as safe as we thought. All right, so we'll get this Dreadnok sniper, and he's going to be on the roof of this building over there. All right. All right, so the sniper is parked out on this roof. So it might be time for us to get out of Dodge. All right, so Lady Jaye does have 1 action. So for her order, I think she's going to shoot. She's going to try to shoot the guy that's on top of the Humvee. All right, take the shot. Need to beat a 7. Ooh, so she hurls the spear at that guy. Chucks him off. He is gone. All right, so that means we got Snake Eyes and Beachhead. So Beachhead, I think he's going to turn around and take a shot at the sniper that's on the roof. But first, let's see if he makes his initiative roll. So we'll activate Beachhead. That is a 6. He does not make his initiative roll. We have to draw a sit rep card. Things might be going downhill. It says you are pinned down. The straggler nearest to the last soldier that attempted an initiative roll is equipped with an LMG. He will apply suppression fire when he attacks. It will not move until there are no soldiers in his line of sight. He targets the closest soldier in line of sight, preferring targets that didn't have cover. So the sniper has actually got an LMG and he's going to try to suppress us. He's not going to activate yet, but he still has one order, so he's going to take one shot at the sniper. See if he can hit him. 11, that is enough. So he pegs. He hits the Dreadnok on top of the roof. He falls over the edge, crashing to his death. All right, we've just got one more soldier left to go, and that is going to be Snake Eyes. Can he get his activation? He does. And Snake Eyes is going to start advancing. We haven't found anybody. So he's going to 1 and 2 head towards the exit. All right, so he is getting out of here. All right, now we are going to the sit rep phase. So we're going to draw another sit rep card. See what we get. War Cry. All enemies in the mission area have +1 TL until the end of the turn. Fortunately, there aren't any. So that means these guys, instead of TL7, they'd be an 8. We're dealing with the Dreadnoks. And then let's go ahead and see if we can get off. We'll start with Snake Eyes. Close to the exit. He passes his roll. So Snake Eyes will 1-2 exfiltrate. He's out of there. And then let's go with Roadblock. Passes his roll. He won't be able to quite get to the end. He's going to do an advance action. One will take him right here. Then another will get him right there. Lady Jaye will take up the rear. Oh, Lady Jaye does not pass her roll. That means one order and a sit rep card. Sit rep. Contact rear. The enemy straggler element nearest to the last soldier that attempted an initiative roll moves and attacks the nearest soldier in line of sight. Discard this card and shuffle the sit rep discard pile back into the sit rep deck. So there's no bad guys out, but if they were and they hadn't, somebody would have moved and attacked. So we're going to take our discard pile of sit rep cards and we're going to shuffle these back up. And then we'll add them back to the sit rep deck. And then Lady Jaye will get one order. So she's going to go ahead, move. And then Beachhead will go. That's enough to pass. He will advance. 1 and 2. That will get Beachhead off the board. Then we're in the sit rep phase. We'll draw our sit rep. Well, it's the clear phase, but again, no tokens. Sit rep. Sit rep is shots fired. A straggler enters the mission area from the nearest building or terrain feature. Corridor, building bush to the soldier with the highest initiative and attacks the nearest soldier. If 2 or more soldiers have an equal initiative, the player must choose one of the soldiers. So a Dreadnok is going to pop out of this building down here. All right, so the Dreadnok pops out of this building and he's going to attack Lady Jaye. So Lady Jaye has to roll her defense. So he's going to have a TL of 7, just like when we're attacking. She has to roll a 7 or higher, or she's going to get hit. She dodges. All right, so the bullets fly past, barely missing her. If she had gotten hit, she would have taken 1 damage and she would have gone from 4 to 3 life. but so far so good. That's the sit rep phase. Then we would do the cleanup phase, and now we are back to our Joe's phase, and we're going to have Lady Jaye activate. She's got a 10 initiative. She fails her initiative. She's just going to get 1 order. Has to draw a sit rep card. We've got they're engaging us. All enemy elements activate. They will move towards the nearest soldier and make an attack. There are no soldiers in line of sight after the move. The enemy elements will perform a second move. All right, so he's gonna attack the closest soldier, which is Roadblock. So he popped out the door, saw Lady Jaye. He's not close enough to get into base-to-base contact, so he's still gonna shoot. So can this Dreadnok hit Roadblock? So Roadblock has to go on the defensive. Gotta beat this 7. Don't get shot, Roadblock. A 9. Fantastic. He barely beats it. He's able to avoid the bullets. And then Lady Jaye is going to get 1 action. So I think we're going to have her advance 1 for her order. We'll get up here. And then Roadblock is going to go. Let's see what he gets for his initiative. An 8. His initiative is 8, so he does pass. 2 orders. First order, he's going to shoot this guy. Point blank range with the LMG. 16, he lights him up. Dreadnok down. And then with his second order, he's going to move off the exfil. That means we just have 1 more sit rep to get Lady Jaye off. Regroup. All active soldiers in the fire team may make a free move. That's fantastic. Lady Jaye moves off the table, and the Joes have completed the mission. They've eliminated the threat. They found out that whoever was in the Humvee is missing. And that's it. That's going to bring today's mission to a close. If you enjoyed this G.I. Joe inspired Battlespace Ultra Modern playthrough, feel free to drop a comment. Let me know what you thought of the scenario, or how you would have handled the extraction differently. If you haven't already and you're so inclined, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help support the content. And it lets you know when new tabletop playthroughs, RPG content, and tactical scenarios go live. If the video was helpful or entertaining, a like or share is always appreciated. And it goes a long way in helping the channel grow. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.